Hello, in this video we're going to write a JavaFX program which draws an image to the screen. So we're going to learn how to use the image and ImageView classes that are part of JavaFX. So let's get started. Over in Eclipse we will create a new JavaFX project. And we will call this show image. Next up, we will add a class to this in the default package, also called showImage. Now, we have some imports to get over and done with, so I'm just going to go ahead and type all these in. Application, scene, horizontal box, pane, insets, stage, and then the ones we're most interested in, image and ImageView. Okay, next up we will modify our class signature to say that we extend from application, and we will implement our start method. So first up, we're going to create a container to store our image view. So the way this works is that the image class is the one that's actually storing our image data that we actually want to render. And then image view is another class that can actually draw that image to the screen in a JavaFX application. So before we get to that though, we need to create our container to store it. We're going to declare a pane called pane. However, it's going to be a horizontal box. And it's called hbox, of course. Getting a little carried away. And next we're going to set the padding of our horizontal box. And the way we do this is using an insets object. So we're going to go pane dot set padding, and then a new insets object. And then this takes 4 numbers as parameters to its constructor, which are the top, bottom, left, and right, though not necessarily in that order. Oh, there you go. Top, right, bottom, left. I was close, but anyway, it doesn't matter because we're using 5 for each of them. Next up, we're going to create our image view, our first image view object. So what we're going to do is create an image. We're going to load an image. So image variable called image equals new image. And then the parameter there to the constructor for image is the path, which can be an absolute path or a relative path, to the actual image file that we want to load. So I've already got this in place. So image/us.gif. Okay. And that's it. That's all we need to do to actually load an image, provided it can actually find it. If the file doesn't exist, then we'll get problems when we go to run our program. However, what we can do now is add our image to our window using an image view object. So what we're going to do is get the list of children that belong to the pane, and then we're going to add an object to this list. And what we're going to add is a new image view object. There we go. So now what we're going to do is create our scene object to store this pane and then get it rendering on screen using our primary stage. So scene equals new scene object which takes in the pane as its parameter. We're going to set the title of our primary stage and then show it. Set the scene to the one we just created, and then show our primary stage. What we're going to do now is quickly create a main method. And call launch. So now we can run this and see what happens. We get an error. Of course, that's because I forgot to copy and I forgot to paste the image into the right location. But anyway, here's my Eclipse workspace. And what I'm going to do is just go show image and paste this image folder into our project workspace. And you can see there are a whole bunch of flags and different images in here that we're going to use. So let's run this again. Okay, I copy and pasted this into the wrong location. So what we're going to do is just copy this into our bin folder, which is where our show image class, the compiled class, actually lives. Sorry about that. I could have sworn Eclipse uses the workspace root directory as its working directory, but obviously not. But anyway, nothing else has changed. I just moved that folder into the right location. And now when we run this, we get our flag shown on screen. So let's do a little bit more to this. What we're going to do is add some more images. And the way we're going to do this is by creating another ImageView object. This time we'll store it in a variable. And we're going to use the same image object. We're not going to load another one in. However, the cool thing about ImageView is that it allows us to manipulate the image without changing the underlying image data. So what we can do, for example, is force our image to fit a specific dimensions. For example, ImageView2.set fit height to 100. And we can do the same thing with the width. So I'll just copy and paste this. Oops. And change this one to the width. And we also need to add this new one. So same thing, pane.get children.add ImageView2. Get the semicolon there. Now when we run this, you can see that, oops, we have two images displayed on screen. We have our original one, which is the kind of normal scale for that image. And then we have our one that was set to fit to 100 by 100 pixels. So you can see that it's been squished up so that it's a square image. There's one more thing we're going to look at in this video. And what I might do is, just to save a little bit of time, copy and paste this. Change it to ImageView3. Again, we're going to use the same image file here, or the same image object. And what we're going to do now is use ImageView to rotate our view of the image. So ImageView3, and we can go set the rotation. This takes a number in degrees. This is very important to keep in mind because most of the mathematical functions that deal with angles use radians. However, this one uses degrees. So what we can do now is add this. To our pane. And now, when we run our program again, you can see we have three different versions of the same image. We have our original one over here, the one that we've forced to fit to 100 by 100 pixels, and then we have our one that was rotated by 90 degrees. And you can see that part of this is off the screen because as we rotate this, it rotates about the center. And because this is wider than this line, you can see here that it's just gone off the window, out of the bounds of the window a little bit. But that's totally fine. All we wanted to do in this video was introduce you to the image object, which allows us to load up images from the disk or other ways. We could read from an input stream directly, for example. And the ImageView class, which allows us to very easily draw images in a window and manipulate how the images appear. So with that, that's it for this video. Thanks a lot.